Oh my God, finally! Finally! No longer do we have to stare at the Thunderdome. We are done with that. We get to see real people, real faces, cheering, booing. Oh my God, the fans are back! And if you can't tell, I'm just a little bit excited because, man, that was such an enjoyable episode of SmackDown. But without further ado, let's get right into this thing because this is the review for Friday Night Smackdown, July 16th, 2021. The official return of live fans to WWE. And what a better way to start it off than Vinnie Mac, the chairman of the board. Vince McMahon comes on out and he only says one thing to all of us. Where the hell you been? At home, Vince. We've been over this. Nobody went anywhere. But that's where we transition to the final boss of the WWE. Roman Reigns gets the first entrance in front of the live crowd. And oh, the boos were real. I was truly wondering if Roman Reigns was going to be hated or loved, cheered or booed, but the fans embraced booing Roman Reigns. The Usos got booed as well, and this set up an amazing tag team match between the Mysterios, Edge, Roman Reigns, and the Usos. And you're going to notice something with these reviews here right now is that it's going to take me a little bit to get back into watching the matches and not being engulfed in the crowd and seeing their reactions, because that's exactly what it was for me during this match. Hearing the crowd feeding off of them, every move felt like a gigantic move. I just got lost in the match. Every spot just delivered for me. I felt like Roman Reigns legitimately hates Dominic Mysterio. I mean, hell, he powerbombed him on the announce table again. But in the end, it was Jey Uso who actually rolled up Rey Mysterio for the win, and then after that happened, the brawl continued. The Mysterios getting beaten down, Edge getting beaten down, Roman Reigns gonna try to take advantage after the Superman punch that he hit on Edge, and this is where Edge found a way to turn things around. Edge hits a nasty spear on Roman Reigns, breaks the leg of the chair, and proceeds to lock in a vicious looking crossface using the bar of the chair through the mouth of Roman Reigns. The dude can't move. And for what I want to say is only the second time in his career we see Roman Reigns actually tap out on live TV. It wasn't a match, it was just a segment, but it's not often that we see the Tribal Chief actually tap out. So huge moment on SmackDown there. Edge versus Roman this Sunday. Are you pumped for it? Because I am. After the commercial break, we see Edge and the Mysterios backstage, and after they break away from each other, Edge gets interviewed. But we can hear in the distance a maniacal laugh from Seth Rollins. I promise I'll never do that again. Seth Rollins says he regrets not actually pulling the trigger 7 years ago when he had his foot over the head of Edge, ready to plant him down with a curb stomp onto the Money in the Bank briefcase. You can tell that obviously struck a chord with Edge, and now Edge, if he ends up winning the Universal Championship and Rollins ends up winning Money in the Bank, we could see Rollins cash in on Edge, which would be a full circle moment, wouldn't it? But regardless, we go down to the ring where we see Sami Zayn is demanding for justice. Justice for Sami! Justice for Sami! And just when you think Sami Zayn is actually gonna maybe get some justice, we hear Finn Balor's theme song play. What? Finn freaking Balor is up on SmackDown. The Prince has arrived. Holy cow! A shocking moment on SmackDown. I had no clue that this was going to go down. I didn't even hear any rumors or anything like it. So I was legitimately shocked seeing Finn Balor walk out on Friday Night SmackDown. Just a cool moment. Good for him. He held down NXT during the pandemic, so he deserves this. Sami Zayn goes to attack Finn Balor, but Balor immediately counters it, driving his elbow down onto Sami Zayn and proceeds to hit the coup de grace. The Prince is on the main roster again. Then we got to see some more of Shotzi and Nox going up against Natalya and Tamina. Straight up rematch from the week before. I don't care. It was in front of live crowds this time, so whatever. But this was so cool seeing Shotzi Blackheart coming down in her tank and firing a t-shirt out into the crowd. I think I suggested this thing like 8 months ago, 7 months ago, whenever her tank debuted. It was so cool, and I'm like, immediately when that makes it to the main roster, she's gonna shoot t-shirts out of it. Like, she has to. She'd be dumb if she doesn't. But really quickly though, since we haven't had the chance to discuss Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart, what do you guys think about them dropping their names to just Shotzi and Nox? I don't hate it. I prefer if Tegan had her first name still because Nox is kind of generic. Shotzi will work. 100% Shotzi will work. It's actually better than Shotzi Blackheart in my opinion. But I want to hear your opinions. Let me know in the comments below. During this match, we also had Liv Morgan and Zelina Vega on commentary. They were bickering throughout the whole thing. And this eventually led to a brawl between Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan. Caused a distraction in the ring, and it allowed Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox to pick up the surprise win. A surprise roll-up from Tegan Nox scores the win for them, and hey, you know what? Another win is another win. It looks like Shotzi and Tegan are going to get an opportunity at the women's tag titles in the future. After this distraction, though, Tamina and Natalya were absolutely livid. They took their aggression out on Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan, but Liv actually escaped from this one and got the better of Natalya and Tamina. Just somehow reversed Tamina, somehow reversed Natalya, and then hit her finishing move on Natalya in the center of the ring. Stood tall, looking up at Money in the Bank. Like, look, Liv Morgan getting a huge push right now. She might be the favorite to win Money in the Bank. Who do you think is going to win the women's Money in the Bank, though? Let me know again in that comment section below. Time for the women's title to be on the line. Bianca Belair versus Carmella. This one was fun. It was good for what it was. But boy, oh boy, the crowd is hot for Bianca Belair. They have 100% made the right choice in putting the title on this woman. She is fantastic. She is lighting everybody up in that ring. Like, I can't believe how good she truly is. Her finisher is a thing of beauty, the KOD, which she did hit on Carmella to score the win. I don't know what else there is to say about Bianca Belair. She is fan-flipping-tastic at everything that she does. Time for a little Alpha Academy. We see Otis and Gable backstage talking about whatever nonsense they're talking about, how Otis is pissed off and how they smell fear and all this stuff. Well, Cesaro ends up going to confront them, saying that it's a good thing you didn't put me on that list of yours. And they replied with saying, we didn't even think about you. But now that we have, you have Otis's full attention. And that's where the big bad Otis attacked Cesaro, setting up their upcoming match. Which we then go down to the ring to get Otis versus Cesaro. I thought this was going to be a hard-hitting, good match, and it was really, really quick, actually. Probably no more than a minute into this match, Gable interfered in it, causing a disqualification finish, hits a German suplex on Cesaro, but that was his mistake. Cesaro immediately turned it around, hit a giant uppercut on Chad Gable, proceeded to swing him around in the center of the ring 8 times before Otis re-entered the ring and bowled over Cesaro. He dragged his corpse over towards the corner, went up onto the corner turnbuckle and hit a gigantic Vader bomb, squishing Cesaro underneath of him. Poor Cesaro, man. Like, I called it a few weeks back that his push was just going to go down the hill, and it certainly seems like it is. Now he's feeding to the Alpha Academy when he was just up there against Roman not too long ago. And I don't know what you do with Cesaro because, like, they've tried everything with him, but this just is unfortunate to see it happen again in his career. We then have a quick promo from Paul Heyman backstage where he's talking about Roman Reigns in his upcoming match with Edge, and he says Roman Reigns is going to beat the sins out of Edge. He was super duper serious until Big E came out of nowhere, did his little spiel of, "I'll feel the power!" Paul Heyman clearly didn't like that one, and that makes me wonder, are we starting to get towards Big E versus Roman Reigns? Like, is that the possible WrestleMania match coming up? Is that just another random like TLC event or something like that? When do you guys think we'll eventually get Big E versus Roman Reigns for the Universal title? Now we get to talk about Sad Corbin. This dude is going down a rough patch right now. Oh man, his hair, like, thank goodness, by the way, thank goodness Baron Corbin shaved his hair that many years ago, because goodness, the man is really truly balding. And like, look, I'm not anybody to say anything. I wear a hat on YouTube, right? I'm gonna be bald someday most likely, but man, Corbin, dude, this is a rough look for you. Thank you for shaving that stringy hair you had back in the day, because yikes. But he explains to everybody that he truly has had a couple of rough weeks. He's lost his car, he's lost his crown, he's lost his investments, he's lost his savings. He's like about to have his house foreclosed, and he might eventually have to live in his wife's parents' basement. Things are getting rough for the former king. So rough, in fact, that he needs $100,000 to save himself, and to do that, he has set up the Corbin Fund, a GoFundMe for Baron Corbin. Oh my god, this was so ridiculous, but I loved it. The funniest part of it all, there's actually a website made for the GoFundMe for Baron Corbin. It's actually quite funny. But after Baron Corbin was begging for people to give him money, he proceeded to hear Kevin Owens' theme song hit, and Owens came on out. Corbin, for whatever reason, decided to take a little dig at Kevin Owens, asking him for money and saying, I know you have money because let's face it, you clearly don't spend it on your wardrobe. Them be fighting words, dude. And fighting words they were, because Kevin Owens stunned his ass right then and there, and that sets up our fatal four-way match between Seth Rollins, Big E, Nakamura, and of course, the aforementioned Kevin Owens. Before we get into the actual match though, let's talk about Nakamura with Rick Boogs, because Boogs looked incredible on the guitar and on the mic. He got the fans on their feet for Shinsuke Nakamura, and then the fans began to sing along with Nakamura's theme song again, bringing me all the way back to his NXT days. Just incredible. And I was there at NXT TakeOver 2016 Toronto. It was just an incredible vibe hearing everybody sing Nakamura's theme song there, and I can't wait to see Nakamura get that same type of reaction again. He got a little bit of it here tonight. It's going to take a few weeks to build back up where everybody is singing his theme song, but Nakamura is back, man. The King of Strong Style is back, and I think he might be a champion in our near future. But let's talk about the actual match now, because there wasn't really too much going on in this one. It was a solid 10-12 minutes of action, but other than a table spot where Kevin Owens jumped off the top of the ladder through the announce table and a curb stomp from Seth Rollins to Big E on the ladder, there really weren't too many talking points. Doesn't matter though, still a really fun match, a really fun way to end SmackDown with the live crowds. That certainly would have sent them home happy. I mean, I don't know how you can be unhappy being a part of that crowd tonight. They were hot. They were up on their feet for everybody. It was just such a fun time. And if any of you ended up going to SmackDown, let me know how the crowd atmosphere was, because I truly want to know. But the final image of the show was Seth Rollins grabbing the Money in the Bank briefcase and holding it high above his head. So there's a possibility Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank again this Sunday. But that is going to do it for us here today. Thank you so very much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy. And you might call me a mark for this, but you know what? I had such a fun time watching SmackDown that the stories, the wrestling, none of it really mattered to me. Hearing the fans getting back to being fans again was just so special to me. So for my rating on the show, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't care if you think I'm a mark. It was fun. But before you leave, do make sure you leave that like on this video. Also making sure you're subscribed to the channel. Come follow me on Twitter at Conman167 and come join our Discord server down in the description below. But take care. We will see you this Sunday for Money in the Bank. But until then, I've been Con, and that was Friday Night Smackdown. Man, I love live crowds.